Bonjour à tous, hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you found me here. I took a guided bus tour to Toledo in Spain last year. This year, I take a train from Madrid to Toledo and Avila, each on a different day. Both of them are totally worth visiting, and there are so many things to see and good things to eat. If you want to see my bus trip to Toledo, please watch my Toledo day trip from Madrid video. Toledo is such a beautifully preserved medieval town that I really wanted to revisit and spend more time there this time. I hope you're excited to see Toledo more in detail. Let's go! Allons-y! I don't know if you are too, but I love history and I really like to visit historical monument sites and cities where they have long or short history. In that sense, Toledo is a perfect city for any history lover. We take a train at the Puerta de Atocha train station in Madrid in the morning. It takes a little less than an hour to get to Toledo. The Estación de Tren Toledo or Toledo train station is grand. Its architecture is quite unique. It is Spain's livelier style, but it also has pointed arches like the gothic style. On our arrival in Toledo, we take a city bus to get to the Puerta de Bisagra, a city gate of Toledo where we'll start our visit. The Puerta de Bisagra is a city gate built in the 11th century. Well, as Toledo has more than 2,000 years of history, a 1,000-year-old gate almost seems normal. Do you know? Toledo was the capital of the Gothic Kingdom of Spain from the 5th to the 8th centuries. When we pass the gate, we have quite a long uphill road, but that's fine. As everything is so delightfully aged and old, we actually enjoy walking along. Toledo is known as the city of the three cultures for the cultural influences of three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam throughout its history. We can see how all these giant religious cultures are intertwined even in the buildings. First, we definitely are going to see La Catedral Prima da Santa Maria de Toledo, otherwise known as Toledo Cathedral. The cathedral has been known for its high Gothic style of the medieval era adapted Mudéjar style. Mudéjar architecture is a type of decoration used in the Iberian Christian kingdoms, primarily between the 13th and 16th centuries. It was much influenced by Islamic art, but produced typically by Christian craftsmen for Christian patrons. The distinctive layout of historical Spanish cathedrals is that the Spanish builders resisted the importation of the layout of the French cathedrals, where the choir and the altar were located in impressive sanctuaries, opting for smaller ones and situating the choir in the central nave. Then, in the 16th century, the rejas or decorative ironwork screens placed in front of the choir and the chapels were made in Renaissance style. It's a huge cathedral. It measures 120 meters or 390 feet in length by 59 meters or 194 feet in width and 44.5 meters or 146 feet high. The structure of the building is greatly influenced by the French Gothic style of the 13th century, but adapted to Spanish taste. El Monasterio de San Juan de los Reyes, or the Monastery of St. John of the Monarchs in English, is an Isabelline-style Franciscan monastery built by the Catholic monarchs between 1477 and 1504. It is beautiful and peaceful. The San Juan de los Reyes has a flamboyant Gothic style with dramatic carvings. The cloister is particularly captivating, but surprisingly, it is still decorated with the traditional Mudéjar carved wooden ceilings. Because the San Juan de los Reyes marks the end of medieval Spain's diversity and tolerance. It is a beautiful monastery you shouldn't miss. The El Greco Museum was founded by the Marquess of La Vega Inclán, who sought to recreate the House of El Greco, to show through sensations the spirit of the time and of El Greco, with works by El Greco and other painters. Domenico Teotocopoli, called El Greco, considered the first great genius painter in Spanish history of art, was already a legend while alive. He lived most of his adult life in Toledo. The recreation of El Greco's house is carried out in the old Toledo house that the Marquess bought in 1905. Opened in 1910, the museum is located in Toledo's Jewish quarter. It consists of two buildings, a 16th century house with a courtyard and an extension dating from the early 20th century. It is quite a charming museum that contains a few paintings of El Greco and the works of other artists of the same era. La Sinagoga de Santa Maria la Blanca, or the Synagogue of St. Mary the White in English, is a museum and former synagogue. Erected in the late 12th or early 13th century, it is considered the oldest synagogue building in Europe still standing. The building was converted to a Catholic church in the early 15th century. The synagogue is a Mudéjar construction created by Moorish architects for non-Islamic purposes. The building is surrounded by a courtyard that served as a place for the people to congregate before and after prayer services, and also held the different communal institutions. We walk down to El Puente de San Martín, or St. Martin Bridge. El Puente de San Martín was built in the Middle Ages, 1380 more precisely. And this bridge crosses the Tagus in Toledo, the long river in the Iberian Peninsula with a length of 1,007 kilometers, or 626 miles all the way to Portugal, then ends in the Atlantic Ocean near Lisbon. Toledo is such a beautiful historic city that I'm so happy to have seen it once again. But Toledo is not the only city with a medieval footprint. Segovia and Avila are two other remarkable medieval cities that you can have a day trip to from Madrid. If you want to see Segovia including the Roman aqueduct, cathedral, and the medieval castle Alcázar, please watch the Segovia day trip from Madrid video. Avila is located more than 1,130 meters above sea level, and the city is the highest provincial capital in Spain. It's a little over 100 kilometers from the Spanish capital, and it takes less than 2 hours by train from Madrid. During the train ride, I feel like traveling back in time to the medieval time and forest because of the passing scenery. When we arrive at the Avila railway station, we have a nice walk to the famous Muralla de Avila, which means the walls of Avila. The walls are only 1.3 kilometers or 3/4 mile away from the train station. Avila is sometimes called a town of stones and saints because of its distinctive medieval walls. It is probably the most 16th century town in Spain. La Muralla de Avila, i.e. the walls of Avila, was the defensive walls of Avila built between the 11th and 14th centuries. In many ways, they are comparable to the 13th century ramparts of Egmont in southern France. If you want to see the French medieval town famous for its relation to the Crusades of Louis IX, please check out the St. Louis in France, 4 beautiful places of St. Louis in France video. Not so surprisingly, the old town of Avila, including its medieval walls, is a UNESCO World Heritage. We walk along on the walls for approximately half the circumference that is open. The walls are exceptionally tall. The walls have a thickness of 3 meters or 10 feet, and a height of 12 meters or 39 feet 5 inches. There is a semicircular turret every 20 meters, standing 8 meters above the height of the walls. We have a great view of the intramural city and the extramural parts of the town as well. The Avila Cathedral stands out because of its height and prominent Gothic architecture. Avila Cathedral's official name is La Catedral de Cristo Salvador, which means the Cathedral of the Savior. Its groundbreaking took place in 1170, so it is acknowledged the first Gothic cathedral in Spain. The first stages of the towers and the aisles date from the 13th century, but the construction was completed in 1475. The cathedral consists of a central nave and 2 aisles with a wide transept. The central nave is notably higher with a height of 28 meters or 91 feet. The choir is located in the center just like at the Cathedral of Toledo. The choir is a Renaissance piece organized in 2 rows of seats and worked in walnut wood. In the center, above the episcopal chair, there is a polychrome sculpture of the first bishop, Saint Segundo. It is an impressive cathedral that has been standing in the walled city for more than 800 years. Having walked on the walls and along the intramural streets, we get hungry and go to have lunch. There are a few restaurants in the fortified walls. We have samplers of regional specialties including this legendary Toledo de Avila, locally produced steak. It's grilled and served rare. It's so juicy and delicious. It's the city's most iconic dish. After our lunch, we stroll back to the train station on foot. What a memorable town! Avila is an extraordinarily well-preserved medieval heritage that has been standing for several hundred years. It is totally worth a visit. Both Toledo and Avila have a wealth of history, heritage, culture, and cuisine. I would suggest you allocate a day to each of them. I definitely visit these UNESCO heritage medieval cities again. I hope I showed you a fraction of the beauties of these medieval gems. If you have enjoyed it, please do give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you again next week. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my weekly videos. Thanks so much for watching.